has been maybe taking. Some teams have been playing it a little bit less, but it's still, I think, it's a solid hero. It's a pretty good hero against the Phoenix. Even as a support, you have a small tool to deal with the egg later on and so on. So pretty like overall nice picks from both sides right now. Nothing too weird, but just some solid picks. I already like Omega Gaming's. They already have some nice team fight set up for themselves already going for them. So that's kind of nice to see.
Yeah, it's I think like the comparator we're seeing from last game that's already showing itself in at least these opening picks is that kind of team fight scalability, right? Like Omega Gaming looked more solid there. You could also see them going later, whereas Infamous Gaming are once again drafting these heroes that play for like lane dominance and try and snowball off of that.
Yep. Yeah, it did look like that a little bit at least. I think there were some dazzles on Infamous and stuff like that. Was a bit different from normal, but yeah, I think nowadays at least like you really do want to have some kind of team fight at some point because split pushing is not like, I mean, unless you play some orc warding games and stuff like that, and anti-mage, without those type of heroes, split pushing is pretty hard for like to order to like win the game, because eventually you need to team fight at some point, and if you can't team fight at some point in the game, unless you can end the game before like 25 minutes 30 minutes, then you're gonna have some issues in the game. So
yeah, it's like it's a good thing that you bring up split pushing, right? Because like we saw how Infamous, for example, tried to leverage that a lot of the late game of last game,
yeah,
and we saw how hard it can be because, especially I feel like in the post 4 role, there's a finite amount of heroes that can do that split push for you, right? Like maybe Rubik, Lena's kind of fallen off in favorability, but for
yeah,
example, when you look at Mirana and Clockwork, they're not heroes that are going to very cleanly clear the lane without any risk.
yeah, that's the thing. And as well, like also split pushing with a lot of the heroes that people like right now, there's also heroes that are very good against playing against split pushers, like this Clockworks, Spirit Breakers has been getting a little more attention. All this type of like the Earth Spirits, they're really good at catching you as well when you play the split push game. So you're gonna have to be careful how you play this type of the game play style as well. But yeah, Omega Gaming have some kind of solid picks. I think the Kunkka is a bit interesting. I'm not sure because picking this like early Kunkka like this, there's definitely like you're gonna get countered. So I think they're gonna keep it open for 3 and mid, unless they're like really confident with this Kunkka mid, and they could do it. But like I said, I think there's a lot of heroes that can go against Kunkka and just crush him on the lane as well.
Yeah.
And then
Is it kind of like, do you think they're maybe playing on the confidence of first game, right? Because like they had a good
yeah,
Kunkka game, but in that game, I think it was Infamous picked an Invoker third, and then they
yeah,
responded with Kunkka fourth. So it was like, oh, this is a
yeah.
good Kunkka
I mean,
game.
yeah, that makes sense way more at least. Like in that sense, like right now, like at least when I would be saying this, I would like say that you just make sure that you have some good lanes against this hero. And Kunkka is pretty bad if you don't have a like good lane, because that sure you have Nightbringer and you can kind of go to jungle with levels, but you want to be kind of active with this hero. You want to use your boat. You don't want to be farming jungle for like 3-4 minutes to recover this hero. So you want to kind of crush your lane, at least do well, and then be able to make moves. And if you get crushed on your lane, you need to be this kind of jungler for some time. It's really not that great for Kunkka to have that situation going for you.
Of course, one of the nice things about Kunkka is it's of the mid heroes. I feel like it's one of the easier ones to get away with like a bad lane, right? Like your tool set is good.
Yeah, yeah,
Also, you just scale in terms of what you need to do in a game well, which is survive, right? With
yeah,
Rom plus
yeah. Like
3.8 strength gain or something like that.
yeah, like you need levels. That's the biggest thing. So in at least in the mid lane, you should be able to get some of it, and Kunkka can. He can do fine against a lot of matchups, but I can still see like the other mid laner just crushing that hero, and then that hero being able to do stuff around the map when the Kunkka actually has to jungle a bit to recover. So that's kind of the problem what I see. But so far they have not responded to Kunkka the best. I think Queen of Pain is a good answer to it, and it can go mid against Kunkka for sure. But it's still, I think Kunkka can do okay on this lane as well. It's obviously he's gonna lose it, but I think it's not the hardest matchup for Kunkka.
It's interesting they go for the Juggernaut because that's like obviously it felt like when you looked at Kunkka last game he could just choose whoever he wants. Your carry had no protection early on against X, but
Yeah.
does it feel like Infamous are kind of leaning towards this idea they can sort of split push again against Omega Gaming's clearly I'm going to fight you directly as 5 lineup?
So I think Infamous has somewhat of a lineup that is kind of wants to just fight you a lot in the early game. They're relying a lot on Omega Gaming's cooldowns. They have really long cooldowns on two of their heroes right now, and Infamous doesn't really have cooldowns that they need to wait for too much. They can just go around. Like, sure, there's gonna be some Omni shots, but Juggernaut can definitely fight even without that. And there's a healing ward. It's a pretty nice tool against some of these heroes. Also, it's like a decent answer to the egg. So now you have like two heroes that can kind of deal with the egg. So at least that's something that's going for them. But I do agree. Like, I think if they don't really have the best way of going high ground on Infamous right now. They still need need to be in like a really good last pick. But it's like if Omega can delay this game by looks of it already, it's gonna be some really hard game for Infamous to play against the Omega Gaming heroes.
Yeah, and it's interesting you mentioned the cooldowns. I love that you bring that up because like Kunkka used to be his heroes like boats. Boat used to be like what? I think it's 60, 55, 50 or something.
Yeah.
They obviously nerfed it. And we saw last game, like Infamous were really good at any time boat got used. They made those 80 seconds where you had no boat feel like 2-3 minutes, like you're waiting for an Enigma black hole because they played a very aggressive style like Dota.
Yep.
And I feel like when I look at these two drafts, the most critical picks. Monkey might change my mind a little bit, but I was gonna say like Clockwork and Tiny are like the two to watch, right? Tiny for like the ganking when you're kind of in this stasis where you don't have your big ults and Omega, and then Infamous because when you look at their lineup, Clockwork is your critical counter initiation. I feel like it's not much your initial movement in, but like he needs to counter the move from a Tiny or a Kunkka.
Kind of. I mean, he can, if he does get the jump on, like, let's say this Kunkka or something, it can be a good way of starting the fight. What I do see, so they go for the Monkey King on Famous. I was actually thinking of Timbersaw a bit, because I feel like that would have been so good pick. I don't think there's, like, they have some ways of killing in the later, but early on, it kind of fits their playstyle they have, how they want to play, and they could have just, like, run them down maybe. But Monkey King also, pretty good pick for just a laning purpose. You lane against Kunkka, you will have a good lane. But I think in the game, this is not the easiest Monkey King game still. There's a lot of annoying burst and a lot of like magic damage that can be really annoying for Monkey King to deal with. And also on top of that, they don't have the best team fight, so Monkey King is gonna have some hard time getting good uses of his ultimate and stuff like that. So it's not an easy Monkey King game, but maybe he can pull it off from getting from the lane and just playing fast. I mean, their lineup is at least good in that sense that they have all these heroes that kind of can play fast. Like none of them needs time to farm something and get online. When as Omega Gaming, they will have Spectre who will want to get some items before he really can do that much. So
yeah, I think it's fair to say that these two teams have differing philosophies that they very hard commit to. It's like Infamous are very kind of clearly focused on lane, whereas Omega Gaming, I think, are more traditionally what we see maybe in EU, right? Where it's like this team fight and the lanes, while they do have relevance in the game, they're not the be-all end-all. Whereas I feel like with a lot of NASA teams, they tend to prioritize how do we win lanes, and they just try and snowball off that.
Yep. It's kind of like that. I think at least like this game is very, very like that. Like the other team has a good team fight game. They're gonna need some more time, but their team fight scales really well. Once again in Famous, they have a pretty good lanes set up for them. And if they can get through the lanes by winning them, they can definitely like make the pressure and make Omega Gaming like answer to everything that they're gonna do.
Now, I do have to say one thing though, like despite the weigh-ins back and forth, like these two teams have their style, I have it on good authority from the most infamous Monkey King spammer in Dota that this hero is absolute dog crap right now.
I don't know if it's like that bad. I think the armor changes made it. I would say it's a buff, personally. I also know that there are certain Monkey King players that still like to play this hero. I still think Topson is playing it every now and then. I think CCNC from Quincy Crew plays it sometimes, and I've seen it be making work some games. There's a first blood going on top.
Yeah. Nice little yoink in. I think this was the move that Omega Gaming actually done this opener against Infamous at the start of the previous game. So both teams liking that top area of the map, especially when they got access to Morana.
Nice little start there for Queen. Gets a first blood. Now he can send something, probably a null tally, or it looks like a null tally, so I can just have pressure more on the lane. Maxa is really getting aggressive here. Yeah, but for the Monkey King, I feel like, yeah, I think it's still a good hero. You just need to, like, a player. I think Monkey King is one of those heroes that if you play it a lot, I think you can play against it a lot of that stuff. I think some people have even gone for this 3 dance. Like, if you have a rough lane, you can just 3 dance, max that
split
spell,
push.
and you can split push and farm some camps and get items anyway. So you don't necessarily require too much on just like, constantly fighting with this hero.
That's true, because that's like the big conundrum of this hero, right? Like you think of mids that are popular right now or carries, like they have this idea of how they'll farm the game, whereas Monkey King is very much a I'm gonna kill you and then I'm gonna kill you again? Question mark?
Yeah, pretty much. So the lanes, mid lane should be Infamous favorite. Top lane, yeah, top lane. This Phoenix is gonna be really sad on this lane. There's not much Spectre can do, but he's making the space, but it's still really hard. On the bottom lane, I think that is probably the best lane for Omega. I don't know if the Clockwork can do too much here from stopping from Oscar from farming. So
yeah. There's that expected kill top.
yeah,
There's no real easy way to get out. Like you literally see the moment that Queen Pain walked away, you're like, yeah, Michael's going to close that one. It was very obvious. I think you're right. Like this is like your Spectre is not going to bully. You just wanted to farm. The Phoenix is going to stop that. So it really is on this bot lane, this tiny, especially to like maybe have rotations towards mid and plays on bot to enable Omega.
yeah. I mean, at least the good thing is that the Spectre, like if the Phoenix will do stuff like that, he can get some type of farm on the Spectre. Obviously, with later on when this lane keeps going more, the Harris is going to be too annoying for Spectre, so he's probably going to go jungle. But he's already off to a good start, 7 out of 8 from the first 2 waves. So at least that's going good for them. But he's gonna start getting pressured here more than the lane keeps going. And the Phoenix is definitely not the strongest support that can help the Spectre. He just needs to kind of try to play the mage shield on this lane and tank some spells, tank some damage, so the Spectre can at least stay in the lane.
Well, he's definitely tanked a lot of damage so far. So.
Yeah, so far he has done it, and I think he needs to keep doing it. So we can expect this Phoenix to die a lot in this game, I think.
But it's kind of poetic, you know. Phoenix is always reborn, right? Technically, he dies, he comes back again. He dies. Okay, that's a very depressing way to look at life for a Phoenix, but that is
unless you kill the egg, and then you don't come back.
Well, you do. You just have to wait a little longer, right?
True.
This is like the difference here is like insta respawn like you're playing a Call of Duty game, or are we like doing Bible, wait 3 days and I'll be back type storyline.
Yeah. I mean, he can die as many times as he wants in this game. He will come back.
This sounds like a typical thing a Pos 5 says in his head when the game is going bad.
I mean, he already has 2 deaths into 1 minute, so I don't hope it's not gonna be like that. I don't think it's gonna be like that, but I would expect him to die quite a lot in this game. But if they win, you know, who cares? Yeah.
Hey, look at the upsides, man. He'd be the first South American player to get the Malk Award.
True.
Very prestigious award.
Still has to die quite a lot before that happens, but let's see.
He's off to a great start here.
Yeah, he is.
So the person will be revealed that told me that Monkey King is absolute trash. When I said infamous spammer, I meant the EU spammer Crystallis. You know, that guy who has like I think he's got 2,000 games on Monkey King or some crap. It's absurd.
Okay, he said that. Okay, then I'm a bit surprised because I definitely think that he is one of those Monkey King mans that, and I still think he plays it every now and then, and people ban it against him as well. So that's why I was like thinking, sure, okay, that's a bit surprising.
I think maybe it's because he like plays Pos 1. Maybe that's his thought process. Like maybe his O2 is a bit better.
Yeah, that might be the reason. I definitely think there is some games that Monkey King is still good mid lane and stuff like that. So safe lane it can be tricky.
It's kind of interesting he didn't start with the boots. I guess it's because he was up against a melee hero. But a lot of the time when I've been seeing Monkey King mid at the moment, they choose to like start with boots and buy Quell and Blade off of the bounty gold.
Yeah, I think in this matchup at least, like he's way stronger anyway than the Kunkka, so he can just go for more like stat-wise build if he wants to, and he can kind of go anything he wants. He could have gone for the boots and be fine with that as well, but I think this is also a fine start. Nothing anytime wrong when you go raid pants on Monkey King.
Do you feel like Bracer is the weakest of those 3 items now?
I think it's mostly, yeah. I think it's like losing the magic resistance, like what you had before was pretty big deal. Now you get HP regen, but it's pretty minimal. Like, yeah, I would say it's probably the worst item from out of those 3 items right now. I think it's you most like you see a lot of strength carries buying raid pants just because you get armor and it feels really good, and attack speed as well.
Yeah, it feels like null talismans are a lot stronger now as well, right? Like the mana regen element. Like
Yeah,
certain offlaners are even choosing to start that item. I think like Enigma's a perfect example. Like you just start null tallies because the inherent regen is so good. Spectre in the top lane. Okay, now this is not part of the plan, Panda. What did we said you die, Spectre hit creeps.
Yeah, but this is what I expected as well. Even though the Phoenix is kind of doing what he is supposed to, it's still really hard because there's double range heroes with the Queen of Pain just maxing out the Shadow Strike, and they're just constantly throwing the harass at you. So it's like so hard to sustain. And like I said, you have a Phoenix support. Phoenix support, not very strong. You need level 3, then maybe you can at least fight a little bit and trade some kills, but it's really hard like this. So Infamous is doing a really good job for the first 3 minutes now on the lanes.
Ooh.
But there's the first kill.
I think he was just like, trying to end his own life.
Oh,
He decided it wasn't worth it anymore.
Yeah, that's true. But still, kills goes away for Oscar, so he didn't wait enough. So still got the gold from it at least, so that's pretty good for him. Yeah, mid lane, pretty one-sided. This is also a matchup that I think I've talked with the other mid laners before, and they have said that at least like Kunkka is. Sure, the matchup is bad, but Kunkka can still stack some camps and like be farming jungling and get some levels. And later on, Kunkka is a really good hero against Monkey King, in my opinion at least, because you have the axe and you have the bolt, you have the torrent, so you can always catch the hero.
Also the iron build, right? Like the type of things you build counter out Monkey King. And that is why Clockwork died straight away. He wanted to come back and punish the Legion. Eye for an eye. That's the tower, does live. Now, he's not going to kill himself this time. He realizes that I wouldn't have a TP. I need to be ready for the runes.
He doesn't have TP, and then the lane is also really pushed in, so you can just pull here now. Gets a free pull because Tiny is taking the XP, so... Yeah, Infamous is off to a good start in this game. They're kind of winning 3 lanes right now, and they have a lineup that can accelerate really well from lanes.
Ooh, Mingati... No Gati alive anymore. It's getting a little bit rough up here. We expected Panda to suffer, but this top lane has turned into a disaster. Pepita, he's got Fairy Fire, so he shouldn't even die here. Picks up the Bounty Rune, and Panda's also going to go down. Baits himself to his own death.
Yeah, this is really sad stuff for top lane. They already have died 6 times in 5 minutes together, so... Yeah, it doesn't feel good. But at least you can say that Spectre's getting some XP. He's getting some lasses. Like, but for sure, they're not happy with this lane. That's what you can say. But trying to come with some positive things, they can always say that at least we're getting some XP.
I love this comparison, right? Because like, got support player when Pycat, the +1 player, is meant to be here, and I can just imagine like the +1 mentality is he's getting ready to thump his keyboard, and then you're like, dude, I play support. I'm used to dying. It's part of the game, okay? You just got to understand. It's the circle of life. Speaking of which,
carry players never want to die. Like, even as a support player, I don't like when my carry player dies because I know he won't feel good about it, and I think it's also ideally it's not good. So obviously, as a 5, you want to kind of tank those deaths. But I think this lane, like I said, is really hard because they just keep harassing you non-stop, both of you. Like, you can see they're using salves here non-stop, and they're using regen because the Queen of Pain harasses just so much, and also like you have 2 range heroes against Spectre Phoenix. It's like you're almost bound to lose this lane, like always. It's just gonna be like that.
Honestly, I'm just fixated on the whole I die for my carry thing right now. Like, you're a goddamn saint, all right? I'm sitting there trying to hit creeps as an Ursa, and I've got my Dazzle already queuing up a Dagon. He's like, I'm ready to go. I'm like, no. I need you to save me and build items to help. And Minigati's the one who needs saving. He thinks he's getting Pepita. However, it might go the other way. Cogs through. Yeah, they'll get the quad kill, but are they going to give one over? Michael actually bites off more than he can chew. The rotation from a Dark Mago is good. Good move from Kunkka to ensure that they're going to actually find multiple heroes in this top lane. And it looks like it's going to be 3 dying for Infamous. Monkey King now arriving. Panda, he's like, I die for carry. Viva la carry.
Yeah. I mean, that's really good for Omega though. Like, they bring the heroes, they bring enough heroes here, they just ready to like kill them. They use Kunkka comes in with his level 7, level 6, and they get some really important kills, some space with Spectre. Spectre survives. Good stuff for them. So and now they're using hold as well.
Yep, they went for the duel and they're going to force out the Omni Slash, and he's going to get kills for this because the rotation from KXY. Beautifully done. Pakaz lives through it all, and they kill 2. And now Inns is in a lot of trouble. As KXY doesn't have the mana just yet. Now he can look for the play, but Inns jukes him out. Says, what are you doing right now, silly? Get out of here.
Yeah, it's totally fine. So really nice play from Jack there, but also nice little play from Tiny. They're not feeding him. But yeah, like I don't know. They're doing. Infamous is doing really good. They did some good moves on Omega for the few minutes ago, but this game is still pretty hard for them because they will need a lot of time before their heroes really come online. But they still have this good team fight later on, so at least they have that going for them.
That's true. Like, yeah, this is the positive attitude right now. The game isn't over. Like, dude, we got a huge team fight. You just gotta hope you don't get to like that 30-minute fight and you whiff every spell. You're like, we had that great team fight.
I mean, it's like that as well. Oh, now Dark Mother might die here.
Oh, he might be saved by the boat.
Yeah,
Stella even helps him out and actually might give over his own life. However, toss forward won't be enough to bring down Excel. Everyone's limping away on low health except for the Monkey King. Typical
I would really
Monkey
like for the Monkey King to bring some mana for himself.
Yeah, he seems to like be suffering constantly from that element.
Yeah,
Aside,
last 2 minutes he has been like out of mana for now, and he might have missed like 1 or 2 kills because of that already. So.
Like us, we catching them all.
But
We're gonna catch
they're getting some kills. Yeah, Papita is doing some good stuff as well. He's really strong right now. You can just come anywhere, use those other strikes, and make some kills happen. Sure, they're getting space for Spectre, but it doesn't matter. Like if your other heroes are getting like this, Kunkka is one of the centerpiece of the lineup right now because he's gonna be the one who's gonna be making the move. So if you pressure the Kunkka, there's not gonna be many heroes that can do stuff around the map right now. The LC is gonna still need like a Blink Dagger. Spectre needs a lot more time before he can really like join these fights and feel good about it. So,
you know what the problem here is with this, like what is essentially a 4 protect 1 strategy. It's like you look at this, and the only way that you see Omega's heroes at this rate protecting the Spectre is as corpses that he can hide in. Like, as you know, like covers himself in bodies so they can't attack him. But guess what? They're still fine. They're still attacking. Clockwork doesn't want any more of this though. So
yeah,
he'll be a body for Minigati to hide in. They'll bring him down.
They might get 4 bounties for that though, so that might just be completely fine.
Meanwhile, Bot also can't do a damn thing. He has to be careful because Monkey King was in the neighborhood. In fact, he's been leaving the bounties to try and bait him in.
That was completely fine. Like those bounty runes are so much more worth it than like killing a level 4 Clockwork. So good stuff from Infamous there. They're already off to a good start. And like I said before, it's really important for them to have this type of start so they can just keep up the pressure, keep up the tempo, and just keep running at these guys non-stop. And right now it's looking really good for them. So the Pakas is usually go for Battlefield build. I think it's fine, even though their lineup kind of wants to play the fast game, like I said. But I think him scaling still is good. Yeah.
Fight going on. No one's going to come out. XY cannot get the Wukongs down just yet. Excel splits up the fire bit. Mirana's already down. The duel comes out, and they'll have to abort. Double kill from Oscar. Brilliant rotation out from the Legion. But Wukong's now down. KXY is looking to get some vengeance out here. Boat coming through. They're trying to do as much damage. Sonic Wave will get him low, which means he's going to go down. Good enough. They made sure they blew everything to ensure that the Rum did not get onto the Kunkka. They get the tower, and Panda's forced away. What? Panda? I think someone's keyboard is made broken, or is it? Might have been a bait. KXY is like, please, I just need to hit it.
Oh, the Echo Saber.
He gets it. Oh, nice Boundless. Should get him away as well. Get in the trees and make his escape. Bit of a mixed fight from both sides, but in the end, Infamous getting that tower definitely favors them.
Yeah, that was really close. The last Echo Saber just came off cooldown to get the last hit on the egg. He would have died if the Echo Saber was still on cooldown for like 1 more second. Nice little play there. And now they also forced the egg, so now they can definitely, they have like 100 seconds now to do almost anything on the map. There's like no way Omega can really fight into them without the egg or the horn. So would like to see them maybe get this tier 1 top tower and then try to start pressuring the enemy jungle and place vision there. And that's what it looks like they're maybe looking up to do.
Yeah, and they're timing it perfectly because Bakaz now has the Battle Fury flying out. So he wants access to the jungle. He wants that extra gold influx.
Yeah, it's not only that, it's also the thing that you're forcing the Spectre kind of go away from his safe zone, since they have never, Omega has never ever even able to pressure this bottom tower. So if they can take the jungle from the Omega Gaming, they're gonna have like really small area of farming. They will only have this triangle here that will feel good, like for them to farm, because they have this like slow lineup that doesn't really relies on team fighting. And since they have lost the lane so hard, they're not gonna be able to get towers and map control.
No, there's not anyone that can really safely split push. Like, you're really easy pickings for a lot of heroes on Infamous. And, KXY misread that. He thought reinforcements were coming. He could have the Tiny. But Dinner decides to let him go, though. Maybe we'll invite him back for dessert. So it looks like Oscar's thinking about making a play here.
I would like them to bring a bit more heroes here to help Axel, because like right now they're still being able to take this area. They're Michael and Papita are like sticking around, but they don't really want to go there. It's a bit surprising. Now they can still kind of farm well, even though they have deck in the tower. They are pretty much set up on KXY here.
Yep, can't get the Wukongs out, and they're gonna have follow-up. This duel is simply a stun. The follow-up damage will be what sticks him in a coffin.
Yeah, I mean, he's just playing to limits, and I think it's a bit too expected. Like, you played here for like 2 minutes now. Like, you should be thinking that they're probably gonna look to kill you, since also they showed top just a while ago. So they definitely
now you're gonna punch him there as well. Axel. Alright, he might get away with this. They don't have any duel. It's a little bit of a pain though. Like, hookshot, while not the longest cooldown, like level 1 is noticeable. It's a minute mark where Omega Gaming should have their abilities available and look to maybe force a fight.
Yeah, they can try to do it at least. I do like the item choices that they're going for on Infamous. So they have a mech on the Queen of Pain, so they're gonna have like what they lack on, at least on spells and stuff. They're giving up, like bringing in items for team fighting right now. So even though Omega has pretty good team fight, they're still not like, they can at least, I feel like Infamous is still gonna win a team fight right now if they fight like around this Clockwork and Monkey King right now.
That Monkey King spotting a target out top. They want to make sure Tiny never finds his way towards a Blink Dagger. And they'll find him to ensure that that's the case. Separate from his team. They're trying to get across to help him right now. There's a Blink duel straight in. Avalanche does on the 2. Egg's going to go down on top of Wukong. KXY trying to do what he can. Hookshot through. Torrent on the floor. It's going to be beautiful. They do get rid of the egg, but what is the price? The price is going to be high, as they price is just right for Omega. Omni-Slash coming out, gets carried across by Dark Mago, and all of a sudden, Pagaz has no easy way away from this. The X controls him up, and a good fight coming out from Omega Gaming, as they claim 4 heroes and only cost them 1. But barely. Look how many heroes are almost dead on the side of Omega.
Yeah, so that's like the thing I don't understand. Why are they not doing this thing as a 5? Like, this is like a most important area that they can control, and it was really close that they would win that fight. And I think if Mirana was there, it would probably make it a difference. But right now, they're giving a really good chance for Omega Gaming to come back in this game. Like, now the Spectre is close to Radiance, and you see how, like, even though they have this goal lead, it's not easy to win the fight still if they fight on even terms. So they really need to start bringing these heroes in these fights more, I feel like, or they're gonna have some real problems once this game keeps going. Because the Spectre, that was without the Radiance. Now for the next fight, they're gonna have the Radiance, so there's gonna be a big difference in the team fight with that.
One thing I will give Infamous, it's not a state you want to find yourself in, but you have like a better fallback plan for the late game than last game. Like last game, it was this Nature's Prophet kind of on his own, whereas this time you're going to have a Monkey King and a Jug as the game goes on. Maybe not the Monkey King for much longer if he's not careful. Nice Sonic Wave to split up the fight a little bit though. Phoenix trying to do the best he can, but gets stunned out of the Sun Ray. X on the side. Axel is zoning everyone away. Phoenix is going to be brought down in the meantime, and they know where he is. Tiny on the high ground. He says, fight me. King of the Hill, and Pepita is claimed the victor.
Yeah. So, like I said, I don't think Infamous is in like a bad position. They're still in a fine position for the game. But it's like, I would still favor like Omega Gaming's lineup still way more if this game drags on for like, I don't know, 30 minutes from now. So they definitely want to, even though the Juggernaut is getting good farm as well, it's still not the easiest Juggernaut game later on. If the Spectre, like, you don't really want to play against Spectre, like 2-farm Spectre anyway, and there's also Phoenix, LC, pretty strong heroes against this hero as well, so in a way. So, but we'll see. I mean, both teams definitely still have winning conditions, and like you said, at least the Battlefield, like, they're not all in for this. So we have to win this game in 15 minutes from now. They can at least let the Jocko farm, and he can still do a lot of damage as well with farm. So
I think the comparative, right, is like while the ceiling is high for Omega, Infamous have drastically increased theirs compared to game 1. Like they've kind of kept that early game presence they seem to favor, but by having this Jug, having that Battle Fury, like you are gonna have a hero that gets 6 slotted and can dominate the fight still up to a point.
Pretty much. He's gonna kill Michael here.
Nope. Moment of silence for the Mirana that was. The random giant X that's drawn across the sky.
So they're gonna have a Radiance being sent into Spectre right now, and I would like them to think about the smoke right now. This is probably the best timing they can have. Spectre just finished Radiance. They should not know about it, and they also have a blink on the LC, so they can definitely start a fight if they find someone. So we'll see if they look good.
No, there's no counter initiations. That hook shot was a whiff in the river.
Yeah.
Here's a thought for you. If someone gets X'd when they're in the sky from behind, should they be X'd to the top, like a secondary toss? Well, we'll save that for because the big fight's going on. The X is going to go down the boat throw as well. Stuns on a free, beautifully done, and they can't even reach the egg in time. The Omnistat's going to follow through to dodge out the damage, but now he's in deep with no health left. The X is going to come out. The torrent follow-up as well. Juggernaut's going to be brought down, and when he's gone, you're in a little bit of trouble. However, KXY jumps into the mess, finds multiple targets, chasing onto the Kunkka, will bring him down. However, his health disappears in the blink of an eye as Minigati has that Radiance complete, is ready to fight fully and whenever from now on, and ensures that Monkey King should be full as well. In says, I'm probably going to die to co-op. You go finish your kill. So far, exchange back and forth, definitely favoring Infamous in that though, considering that once again, Omega Gaming use everything, and they're still the ones with more casualties at the end. In fact, they're going to lose more.
Yeah, they're going to lose Spectre here, I think.
Michael's hesitant. I think, yep, he kind of baited himself. He needed to go in straight away. As a result, Minigati might live courtesy of Panda. Hook shot in. Oh, beautiful, but didn't quite catch Spectre. He's still alive. He's just waving him from the side like, see ya.
The arrow? No, he's not gonna lay.
Oh, Panda's almost killing Clockwork as well. He's like, get out of here. This is my Spectre.
Yeah, that was a bit unfortunate. They didn't have detection to kill the Monkey. Like, it took a long time for them to kill him, and then meanwhile, the Queen of Pain and Mirana was like doing a lot of damage, so. But it's still a pretty close fight. The Juggernaut got all his spells off, and it looked like maybe Infamous gonna kill them all, but it's still like pretty hard to fight into the heroes. They might catch, yeah, them going for Fakas again.
Uh-oh. Fakas. I mean, this is a problem. This is a big problem. Flashy's a boat.
Yeah, I need to run right now.
Yeah, you haven't got the damage for him. This Jug has tanked up enough with the Sanji and Yasha. They get out before KXY can arrive.
Well, it looks like they're gonna get away at least, so they could go for a Roshan right now if they want to, and it's thus. Maybe they're not. Maybe they don't feel like they're strong enough to do it yet. So they do know that there's no Kunkka board at least, but they will have other spells ready soon. So.
You know, Pexu, I got an interesting start for you, right? At least based on the games I've seen. So far, I have a group of 2 games I've seen Mengate play. And every time, true to his name, which is meant to be like Bugatti, he picks a hero that has movement speed amplification.
Ah, okay.
There you go. All right, that's my interesting fact for today.
I mean, movement speed is always nice. I don't know. I think it's probably the best stats in the game. I feel like it's always you feel good when you have movement speed, and no matter what hero you are playing.
That's true.
Like, it's always fun to have some movement speed.
That's why it's so nice when Gaben put, Gaben and Ice Frog put in the nice little poor man's boots, right? The windlace. When you're like having the worst game possibly, like, but I can still get something because movement speed breaks the game.
That's the thing. Like, a lot of players are just buying casual windlaces nowadays, and it's kind of like it doesn't make sense. Like, it's a really good value item for what it gives. So.
Oh, fight in the middle lane. Boat coming through as well. BKB activated. They're right on top of him, trying to do the Sonic way through, though, to start the fight. The egg should be allowed to go off here, but can they do enough with it? KXY's BKB is running out soon, but Oscar needs to run away. They're just splitting and running as fast as they can. Minigati has been spotted out, but they choose an easier target. They bring down the Mirana, move forward on the Minigati as well. Some ready to heal him up. X on him with the Omni Slash as well to try and bring him down. Monkey King needs to be careful. Balance strike through. Will get the kill on the Spectre, though. He is disarmed. He will die as well, as he cannot move away. Or can he? He turns around, does enough damage to ensure Kunkka dies before he goes down himself. And now they're trying to retreat, but Omega, I don't know if they're going to make it out. They're going to have more casualties. Panda has been caught, will be ran down. Tiny's been all but ignored. He's coming back now. He's like, please, I'm a hero. Someone recognize me.
Yeah, that fight was really good for Infamous. They had a BKB, just fresh BKB. I don't know if they even knew about it. So the Monkey King was getting full ultimate out, and Juggernaut was surviving as well. I think they had a healing ward for quite a long in time in that fight. Also guarding Grid, so a lot of healing going out. And should be a free Roshan and a free Tiny Kill now as well.
I know, bonus. Don't you just love it when you get extra? I mean, look at that. It's just you came here for the Aegis, and you conveniently found a giant rock worth gold sitting in the fog.
Yeah. Well, really good stuff from Infamous. Like, they're definitely in a good spot in the game for right now. Juggernaut is looking to go for a Lincoln, so he doesn't want to deal with that threat of getting LC bursted. I think it's fine. Like, I think the only way he dies is if he gets dueled into like a lot of burst damage and follow up. So right now, if they don't have that way, I don't think there's any way that Juggernaut can die. So it's an interesting way of going for an item, but I feel like it is a good Lincoln's game, and that item also was one of the items that did get a lot of like nerf. The recipe is way cheaper now than it used to be. Yeah. So I definitely would like to see this item a little bit more. I think this is a good game for it. So liking that a lot in this game.
Yeah, I think it was like either that or maybe like Satanic, right? Because stats resistance in this game is pretty juicy as well.
Yeah, Satanic would have been my favorite. Like I would have thought, oh, Butterfly. I think of Butterfly. Butterfly is pretty good as well. Yeah.
Excel, you okay there, buddy? The red heroes are the enemy. I think you just figured that one out.
Just making space. You call those deaths? Nah, I don't know. That wasn't maybe the best space making thing, because you also have Aegis, so you probably don't want to die like that. But,
no, because now you're gonna lose more.
Sometimes dying like that is okay. That time I wouldn't say so though. They're catching.
Whoop. Above the mark. Looks like Mirana will barely get away in one piece, but does live nonetheless. But you can already see Omega. They're going to try and punish this more. Peter's the target.
Attack from him, he might die. Oh, so close.
No, I think he just glimpsed him in the fog. Yeah. He's exactly. Like, nope, ain't going down like that, cousin. Get out of here.
But now they're 5 heroes up, so maybe Infamous is going to look for a smoke themselves. They do know where they're playing, so they're not even smoking. They just want to run at them, and I think that's fine. They do know where they are. Pakas feels really strong that they can't deal with him right now.
And the thing for Omega is they always have to make these moves together, right? Like you're past the point where Tiny can maybe find a solo kill other than possibly Mirana, but it's not easy to use. So you have to commit as 5, which is kind of the issue they had last game. Like, yes, they came out ahead in the end, but there was this really awkward mid game where they were just running across the map as 5, trying to find a fight.
Yeah, they should. I mean, Oscar with LC can kind of still look for something to happen, but it's but he does definitely need the help. Like, he doesn't have damage himself that much that he can like kill. I mean, he can kill some people with the Blade Mail, but I like most of the heroes is pretty hard to catch for him. So yeah, it's pretty hard for them to play the game. Like, you can see that they're definitely playing like pairs and stuff. And I think that is the way that they need to play, even though it's not maybe the way they want to play. But that is probably the only way they can play right now.
Yeah, and of course, you know, in those type of games, someone has to die. There's a price. And it's going to be, once again, Panda. 6, 12, 10. I mean, it's not exactly multiplication, but he's getting there if he can just not die and find any more source. Mago. Run, little Kunka, run. Not fast enough.
Yeah.
Just a matter of if you can waste some time. He even throws out the bow. He's like, I know I'm dead, but I'll make you work for it.
Yep. Spectre, on the other hand, though, farming away, went from Manta, so he does feel quite strong. They might catch.
No, he got away with it. There's no leech left on Michael. However, I think they spot that DD, so you might just see Infamous yoink that, then try and poke at high ground. Especially if they get this kill. Arrow. Nice. Oh, he tried to mana dodge it out. It didn't work though. Nice press the attack to save the day. Wukong's a Sonic Wave. That's not how you bring down a Spectre. You kind of have to accept the moment the press the attack comes through, you're not doing anything. That was almost disastrous though.
That was close. Good thing they have that LC there around to save him. So they do save the Spectre, and that's probably also save the high ground push, so that they're not gonna make the high ground push. So yeah, that's DD rune in the bottom lane. I would like them to bottle that maybe if they can. They don't have any info of it, so doesn't seem like they might miss it now.
Yeah, I think Mirana leapt right past it, just didn't see due to the night vision. Spin that, Mirana. Well, that's painful. However, you'll feel less bad about it considering they just committed Haunt to kill your ass.
Yeah, the one thing that at least you can say it does feel okay because the Mirror died, like it's a dieback for him, so he's dead for a long time. Even though when he's gonna be up, they're gonna only have like 40 seconds without a Haunt, so there won't be too much time for them to use it for. However, they can still, I think they can still try as a 4 versus 5. They get a good chance. Well, they lose stages now, so probably not.
Yeah, now they'll probably back away. They have got the DD, and this is one of those situations where Mega need to be careful and not play around lack of information. Because, like, you know, like, these guys are a team. They know when the Aegis is expired. But a DD is, especially on a hero like Jug, I mean, this is the type of thing that is one TIs, one moment around a room.
Jug is very strong right now. Like, even though we talked about the Spectre lot, we should still, like, they do need to fear this Juggernaut. They also, like what I said about earlier, they have this Lincoln, so it's really hard for them to kill this Jug as well. Like, catching him will be really hard, and he will do a lot of damage in the fight if he gets to just get some good Omni Slash. Hopefully it doesn't bounce into something weird. That is the unfortunate thing that can happen, even though how farmed you are with Jug. There's sometimes those fights happen where you bounce into something and it breaks your ulti, and then, oh well.
Yeah, that's the type of thing which keeps some Juggernaut spammers awake at night.
Yeah.
Well, they just wake up in a sweat, screaming, "No! Where did that creep come from? I timed the wave perfectly. Why was there a neutral here?"
Doing again some dual damage, I think. Does look like he's gonna get it.
No, he's actually not. He's gonna get stunned up, and the hook shot through. I'm not dying. You're dying. Omni Slash is not gonna bounce, or is it? Yes, it is. The nightmare screams come out of Pakaz as he wakes up, yelling, "Why did I not get my kill?" Instead, Michael's the one who secures it. On the side, they're not done yet, though. They are going to find into the tree line. 2 for none exchange, as they just didn't have enough damage to kill off Clockwork.
Really nice arrow, though, from Michael. Like, if he hit the Tiny there, they would have probably got the kill.
Yeah.
And then just away. The LC probably gets away. Tiny will probably feed. But instead he gets the LC there, and then they both die. And the Clockwork also survives, so nice arrow.
I mean, actually, they probably both get away, right? Because, like, you just press the attack Tiny. And it's like, all right, well, good job. We ganked together, bro.
Yeah.
But it's, I think this is always one of the issues whenever you see these Blink Dagger LCs, right? Is there's this pressure to keep doing things. Like, keep making plays, keep making kills happen. And it can make you a little predictable.
Yep. That's kind of the problem with LC sometimes. That sometimes you have a really good game and you feel like you're king of the map and you can just be anywhere. But then there's also those games where it doesn't go so well. Your laning stage maybe doesn't go so well, first of all, and then it's like you're not actually that strong anymore. You can't just go and pick off anyone, and they need to feel so scared on the map. And that's kind of how this feels. I mean, he doesn't have the worst LC game. I've seen way worse LC games, so he can still do some damage, but it's not definitely the best game for him.
Yeah, it just doesn't ever feel like he's getting the opportunity to get his kills. Instead, he might be killed again. It's like a please don't touch me blade mail, but they're going to keep running after him. Boats try and protect. They're going to try and go for the egg player with a horn, but they're actually holding the egg. It gets interrupted by the cogs. They'll chase forward, but it looks like Infamous have got everyone away. Maybe not the Clockwork, sure. Maybe you'll finally get your duel win. But considering what you committed, once again, you get minimum gains.
Yeah, but if they can get away now, they can probably feel fine with it. If they don't feed anything here, they should feel fine with it, because I don't think there's a way that they can push their high ground, even if the cooldowns are down. So I think they're fine with that on Omega. Like, it's obviously not something that you want to happen, but it's not like you still got a free kill. No one died. You're just still holding up, so you're farming up. We'll see if Infamous can still force something now, because they will have Haunt cooldown for like 70 seconds now, so
yeah,
they can definitely try to force something out on Infamous.
Well, the issue is like Omega Gaming, they're just interested in delaying, right? Like, we have a Spectre delay, but you're reaching like the critical point, the make or break, because while he only has a Shadow Blade right now, Pakaz is getting close to that Silver Edge, and at that point, Minigati is a non-factor in these fights. In fact, he might be before that, as they're chasing onto him right now. He should be able to escape, you think, but he hasn't got enough mana to throw out the dagger. Sonic Wave, Wukong's, and Spec is gone.
Okay, nice little kill there. now they can definitely force a high ground if they can just get the waves in. They have one wave top.
Oh, they ain't done. Oh, okay.
Yeah.
he getting out.
Yep. But no, actually they're just gonna get Roshan. Yeah, that's also fine. Completely fine. Now they can get Roshan and they can then think about high ground whenever they want. So yeah, Infamous is in a really good spot at this point in the game.
And this is especially big because it means that Kaz doesn't have to worry like about buyback or whatever. He can just straight up buy the silver edge almost instantly now.
Still needs a little bit of gold, but pretty close to it. So yeah, maybe they can think about high ground. Spectre is still dead for 30 seconds, so they definitely have time. And even though they don't know the Spectre has no buyback, he probably we should think that he doesn't want to buyback at this point necessarily. So they should get some good damage for this tower, maybe even get the Rex here.
Yeah, it's that type of buyback that feels game losing, right? Unless it's to make a big horn play.
Pretty much.
Arrow on Phoenix. Oh, use the Glimmer Cape. And also the LC factor is something you always have to consider. Problem that you have as Omega, you have no real easy way of getting rid of this pesky little healing ward, which means you have no way of getting Infamous out of your base.
Should be one set of racks at least here. Honestly, I feel like they can still force even more. I think they can just go top, and I'm not sure what Omega will do at that. But at the same time, that's probably the only place where Omega can actually win a fight if you overextend into their base. So they can also just push out the lanes and kind of choke them inside the base. Omega wants to smoke up, so this can be a risky smoke, but they can definitely. They just want to get out of the map or out of the base right now. Maybe find someone who's farming alone, but the Juggernaut is running up to them, and that's the hero they don't want to go on.
Exactly. It's the classic move. It's what we see so often, which means it's so goddamn obvious. But jump in with the duel. Horn's going to come out right away. Looking for the fight. Arrow through. Trying to do enough damage. Buyback comes out the Phoenix straight away after he gets evaporated. Can they actually sustain themselves here? Sonic Wave and the Omni Slash through to drag them down and kill them off. LC and the Spectre both gone. And your Phoenix is brought back for nothing. You're going to lose more heroes, or are you? Dark Mago manages to get away just about. However, they're going to be coming straight for your base. They're not done. They'll take out the Tiny. Infamous can just move up to the high ground. They might even try and force an end here. Yep, GG. They know it's over. Omega League, rather? Well, that's what it's called. Omega Gaming say, nope, we can't do it. Diddly squat left in the chamber. We're going to need a game 3 here.
Yep. Just good gameplay from Infamous from all the way from the start to finish. It was a slight